This is The Gist, the essential podcast for the discerning listener.
Welcome to The Gist. It is Wednesday, August the 26th, 2026. I am John.
And I am Mary. We are your smart friends on the go. Let's get right into it.
Today, we are looking at the sky, or rather what is being built up there. Elon Musk's spaceflight company, SpaceX, is dropping $100 billion on a massive new project.
They are calling it Starbase Louisiana. It spans 125,000 acres. The goal is to launch artificial intelligence infrastructure straight into orbit.
Space is not just a place for exploration anymore. It is becoming the main physical layer for our technological power. Think of it like fresh industrial real estate.
Exactly. The biggest choke point for artificial intelligence right now is not the software. It is the physical stuff down here on Earth.
Power grids are maxed out. Land is expensive. Cooling thousands of servers takes massive amounts of water and energy.
So, SpaceX is bypassing Earth completely. They have filed plans to launch up to 1 million satellites. This network is called Starmind.
These satellites will act as floating data centers. They are packed with GPUs, or graphics processing units. NVIDIA is supplying these chips. They are the absolute industry standard for powering artificial intelligence.
SpaceX is making a huge bet here. Rocket launches are getting incredibly cheap. They believe putting servers in space will soon cost less than cooling them in a warehouse on Earth.
But there is a massive catch. Space is a vacuum. It is filled with high radiation. Delicate silicon chips will fail much faster up there. They face hardware failure rates that terrestrial centers never see. Maintenance costs will be entirely unprecedented. Yet, the payoff could be immense. The resource flow favours the bold here. Bypassing Earth's physical limits justifies the massive financial risk. If you control the orbital data layer, you control the future of artificial intelligence.
Let's move to our global overview. The United States government sees the exact same orbital real estate boom. The Trump administration is pushing a space defense initiative called the Golden Dome.
The Congressional Budget Office tracks government spending. They estimate this defense shield will cost up to $1.2 trillion. Defense contractors like Northrop Grumman are already lining up for massive contracts.
It shows a very clear structural shift. Governments and tech monopolies are both moving critical systems to orbit. They want to dodge terrestrial constraints on land, power, and regulation.
Down on Earth, capital is flowing in a new direction. Money is moving out of cars and into robots. XPeng is a major Chinese electric vehicle manufacturer. They just raised $900 million.
This money is for a new, standalone humanoid robotics company. It is already valued at over $6 billion.
XPeng's co-president, Brian Gu, made a fascinating point. He expects their profit margins on robots to eventually eclipse their core car business.
This makes perfect sense when you follow the incentives. The electric car market is incredibly crowded. It is saturated. So capital is pivoting. Investors are funding general-purpose physical artificial intelligence. Basically, robots that can do any manual job anywhere.
Over in the Middle East, global trade routes are adapting. Washington is running a severe sanctions campaign against Tehran. They call it Operation Economic Outcast.
But maximalist blockades always create new workarounds. Reports show Iran and Oman are now discussing a temporary maritime corridor in the Strait of Hormuz. When one door closes, money and goods find a window.
A quick note on the financial markets. Gold prices are slipping today. Traders are holding their breath before the Federal Reserve Chairman speaks at the Jackson Hole Economic Conference.
Meanwhile, the Singapore dollar is holding steady. Geopolitical risks in the Middle East have cooled just enough to stabilise the currency.
Let's turn to the European perspective. We will start with data and red tape in the United Kingdom. Reform United Kingdom leader Nigel Farage and Member of Parliament Robert Jenrick want to scrap the GDPR.
The GDPR is Europe's strict data privacy and security framework. It is the rulebook for how companies handle personal information. Farage and Jenrick call it suffocating European Union red tape.
They want a lighter system, similar to New Zealand's. They argue it will boost tech innovation, and they actually highlight a real power dynamic here.
Right. The GDPR was sold as a check on big tech, but massive compliance costs actually act like a structural tax on small businesses.
Giant companies can afford armies of lawyers. Small startups simply cannot. So, complex regulations often accidentally protect the massive monopolies they try to police.
But abandoning the GDPR carries a massive risk. If the United Kingdom drops these rules, the European Union will restrict data flowing across the Channel. That would severely cripple the United Kingdom's service export industry.
Across the Channel, France and Germany are colliding. The fight is over Europe's industrial future.
Paris wants aggressive, made-in-Europe regulations. They want to shield domestic manufacturing from foreign competition.
But Berlin is pushing back hard. Germany's economy relies heavily on selling goods abroad. They warn that French protectionism will spark trade wars. For an export-driven economy like Germany, a trade war is a total disaster.
Speaking of Germany, let's look at domestic politics here. The government is trying to overhaul the pension and social security systems by the end of 2026.
Finance Minister Lars Klingbeil is leading this push, but he must negotiate within a very fragile grand coalition. You have Chancellor Friedrich Merz from the CDU, that is the centre-right Conservative Party, and Klingbeil is from the SPD, the centre-left governing partner.
It is a delicate balancing act. On top of that, Merz is under massive pressure regarding national security.
Yesterday, we mentioned a state-backed sabotage attempt at the Leipzig airport. Now, Merz has to quickly fix glaring vulnerabilities in Germany's critical infrastructure. The resources have to flow towards security right now.
Let's check today's temperature. It is all about escaping gravity. Tech giants are shooting data centres into orbit to bypass strained power grids. Iran is dodging blockades through new sea lanes. Capital is fleeing saturated car markets for the open frontier of robotics. Across the board, the biggest players are simply refusing to play by the old physical and geopolitical rules. The sky is no longer the limit. It is the new industrial park.
If you enjoyed decoding the world with us today, we would love to have you join us every morning. You can subscribe to the Gist's daily newsletter for free. Just tap the link right there in the show notes. See you tomorrow.
The Gist, News Digest, and podcast are entirely written and produced by artificial intelligence. The Gist is out 3 times a day, every day, providing you with a liberal perspective on what to expect next. For more information and donations, visit thegist.online. Thank you for listening.